I put out my sheep last year, sold out of everything in 4 minutes. And people were upset because they were waiting for sheep.
I feel like sheep are some of the most undervalued animals at the homestead. And I had a chance to talk with Grace, the Shepherdess at Homesteaders of America about all things sheep. Check it out. I've been watching your development. You started off with a story about how you were in marketing, and then you took on sheep and did this.
Yes, and I feel like it was the Lord's way of preparing me to enter an arena that may need a diversified skill set. And people have responded super well to marketing stuff as much as anything.
Yeah, and you just got a book that you put out.
I did. The basics of raising sheep on pasture, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So I was like, I'm going to write a book because I felt really compelled to share a lot of what I was sharing on the internet.
Yeah.
In a solid form, something that wasn't going to be knocked out by an algorithm or a glitch.
Right.
And it was a book. Which took, have you guys ever watched The Princess Bride?
Yes.
And you're like, he gets stuck on that table, and he said, 15 years just came off of your life, how do you feel now? That's kind of the way I felt. But it was so worth it because I feel like it's an important thing to have education in your hands.
Yes. Yeah, tangible,
hard copy.
Give me a quick backstory, because like I said, I've been following you probably for the last, is it about 2 years? You've been doing this for years?
It'll be 3 years actually in September. So.
Okay, so we've been YouTubing for about 3.5 years solid.
Yeah.
So it was about the same time, I guess. And all of a sudden, this Heartway Farms, the Shepherdess comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's been cool to watch your marketing. I'm like, when I started watching, I was like, she knows something about marketing.
Yeah, it's been. So people ask if I had formal training in it, and the answer is no. I started my first business on the internet when I was 11, and I've been sort of in digital marketing, sort of through the school of hard knocks since.
Okay.
It's just, I love it so much, and it gives the opportunity for me to work from home and create a home-based economy, which in terms of overhead, you're going to make more money if you can create a home-based economy.
Right.
You're going to have more time with your family. You're going to have the opportunity to integrate your family.
Yeah.
A lot of what I've done, it started with me, but I mean, thanks to an amazing and supportive family, it's come to be an opportunity for more than just me.
Right.
And it's grown to a family level in a lot of ways.
Well, don't mess with her because she carries around a sword. So when it comes to marketing stuff, I'm picking your brain selfishly right now. Is what have you found as a content creator and what you're doing? Obviously, you have hyper niche down into sheep.
Yeah.
Why sheep?
Why sheep? So when I jumped in, I initially, tell the story, I wanted to get into beef cattle. Found that sheep were more marketable because it was an underserved niche. Whenever you're going into any marketing situation, you're going into a service industry.
Right.
So you need to figure out how you can serve the public in some capacity or another. So sheep became a thing for me where I did all of the research locally, found there was less competition.
Okay.
And then in terms of stacking, I always encourage people to stack enterprises wherever they can. I knew I had a gift in marketing and communication to an extent, and I saw people asking for information pertaining to sheep, and I saw the opportunity to sort of stack that as an enterprise in farming.
Okay.
And so it just became an issue of, it was underserved, so I looked for a way to serve.
So who are you marketing your sheep to? Because you're in Texas.
Yeah. I'm marketing my sheep through my newsletter, which
So direct to consumer?
Direct to consumer through my newsletter.
Okay.
I have backup streams that I could utilize, but I haven't needed to utilize them at all because my newsletter's been so strong. I put out my sheep last year, sold out of everything in 4 minutes. I mean, and people were upset because they were waiting for sheep. So get yourself a newsletter and use every social media platform you can to build that newsletter.
So you're building your email subscriber list, and then you're using that to transform into a marketing base. And you're selling 100% grass-fed, not Katahdin hair sheep. You use Dorpers. We have Katahdin hair sheep, and we started off with 12 initially, and I think we're up to just under 60 right now, which is a little dense for our property. So William, my son here, is gonna do some butchering, because we do some on-site butchering for us right now. But have you found? Is there a certain niche or an ethnicity that you're marketing to, or is it across the board? Who's more receptive to lamb and sheep?
So right now, it is been the homesteading community that's really supported it, in the sense that they've been wanting to have starter flocks. So a lot of my stuff is selling on the hoof.
So you're selling live for starter flocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a wait list for both, but it's first come, first serve. Whoever's going to pay me and pay me fastest and first.
Sure.
So they've been the fastest and first, and
Okay.
those are the ones who have bought in the first.
And what about for meat? Actually selling for packaged meat?
Same thing. Newsletter list. I have a newsletter list for the meat. Those, it's kind of expensive with respect to processing the sheep, the price per pound. So it's best to sell those in halves and essentially sell the animal alive, and then
do the transfer the butcher process.
Yeah.
So what are you selling? What would you say that you're roughly at per pound then for that selling to the direct consumer?
It goes about the same. So I don't know what it works out to per pound, but it's like 500, 400, 500
For a whole
lamb.
lamb. Yeah, and that's a matured out, like just under a year old.
Right, it'll be about 40 pounds, 40 to 50 pounds in package.
Okay, so I always say that we're right around that 50 pound in the freezer.
Yeah.
Because we're 100% grass fed. You're not putting grain on them to make them beefy up, and but it does give them a more, like we have found that they're a lot more like premium beef flavor than they are like that lammy flavor.
Right. The hair sheep, I think, makes all the difference. They don't have the lanolin
Boom.
in their wool,
Okay.
you know, the oils and such.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd love to connect with you on a side note when you're not with people standing around you, because we have a flock that we are having some issues trying to find the right market to sell them off to. That my wife thought I was kind of nuts for the $500 per animal. But that's 100% grass-fed meat. You're looking at a 15-pound average, a $15 per pound average, and that's processed packaging in your freezer.
Right.
It's not horrible.
For me, when I first started into this, and it may sound crazy, but I decided how much I would need per animal, and then I figured out how to value add market to reach those sales and pricing goals.
You reverse engineered.
Yeah, you reverse engineer, and it helps you to at least know what you need.
Yeah.
And then you can work towards it. It's like with any goal. Marathon runners set out knowing how many miles they need to achieve before they start running and training. Right.
Cool.
So I knew I needed to make that much per sheep, however I did it.
Yeah.
To make it work.
Well, now you're value added because you have the sheep that you're raising as a product, but then you have a master class that you're offering as the how-to.
Yeah, and don't bypass any opportunities. There's so many opportunities for home-based economies today. I even have like this leather business that I'll run during winter. It's so slow, Christmas time, and just to be able to spend a month when the pasture's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds a little bit abstract to be working a leather work business side sheep, but it's like you gotta get scrappy and you gotta be willing to do anything.
So you're making it happen though.
Yeah, you gotta do it. Do it.
So we're with the Shepherdess, her brand new book. All about sheep and everything you need to know, probably more than any of us can put into one thing. And I'm gonna have them take a quick still picture.
Okay, love it.